All right, man. Caris Levert went off last night. He shined with the Brooklyn Nets against Damian Lillard and the Trailblazers. The Trailblazers pulled it out. He missed the last shot. He took a step back on CJ McCollum last night. But it's almost 40-point performance, and also Dame Dollar co-signing him after the game, saying that boy Caris Levert cold. A lot of Piston fans now want to bring Caris Levert back to Michigan. He used to play for the University of Michigan. Go Blue. Let's talk about it. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. And this is a similar situation to a certain extent to one Spencer Dinwiddie Piston fans. We had Dinwiddie, lost him. We had Chris Middleton, lost him as well too. We took Henry Ellison over Caris Levert. Just let you know how bad the drafting has truly been for the Detroit Pistons. No matter if it was Joe or Stan, Stefanowski is still out on him, and obviously Troy Weaver still out on him because jury's still out because they haven't really had a lot of picks, and Weaver haven't had picks yet. But Stefanowski ain't had a really lot of picks because Stan Van Gundy gambled them all away on Blake Griffin. But we could have had Caris Levert here in the Piston uniform. And you know what? We probably would have had Caris Levert and we would have let him slip away anyway. All right? I think it's just Stan Van Gundy just didn't know how to judge talent. Him and Jeff Bowers was terrible at judging and evaluating talent and bringing it in and developing it. But the Pistons have never been good at developing talent for the last 20 years that I can remember. They always take guys like Jerry Stackhouse or Grant Hill. Well, Grant Hill got drafted here. You didn't have to develop Grant. Grant was the shit. Rip Hamilton, Ben Wallace. And they Pistons have always established talent for a long time. And, the Tayshaun Prince that sit on the end of the benches, the Darko Rod at the end of the benches, the Middletons, the Flalos, the Dinwiddies. They just don't believe in playing young guys, man. It'd been Rick Carlisle, Mo Cheeks, Larry Brown. They just believe that you're supposed to sit on the bench and rot. And a lot of guys, that kill their confidence. Amir Johnson was another guy they sat on the bench for a long time before they let him play. They don't believe in letting them play. They believe if you don't practice good, you can't play. But a lot of guys don't practice good, and they play really good in the game. And that's always holding the Pistons. You know what I'm saying? Last year, that was kind of the turning point for the Pistons where they played young guys. They played Selko. They played, guys that you usually wouldn't see get out there and get opportunity over the course of the last couple of years. Bruce Brown. They played a lot of those young guys last year, and they got an opportunity to really get in there. I think Jordan Bone came up. Dante Hall came up for a minute. They really had an opportunity to show that they can play, but that's only came because injuries. Reggie went down. Luke went down. Derek was up and down. Blake went down. They played Christian Wood. They didn't want to play Christian Wood for the life of me. They was just doing Thon Maker in there. He was absolutely doing nothing. I was wrong about Thon to this point. He was absolutely doing nothing. They was doing everybody in there but Christian Wood. And when Andre moved on and Dwayne Casey, the light flicked on his head and said, let's play Christian Wood. They played Christian Wood and he balled out. Just sitting on the bench all year and you giving those minutes to Thon Maker. And you had a jewel right on your bench right there. It's crazy. The Pistons just refused to play young talent. And that got to change. Especially in a rebuild. You got to get them their nights off and you got to sit them on the bench sometime to kind of let them see the game slow down. But they got to play. This is a whole new generation. This ain't 1979. Where you got to spend 4 years in college. You got to pay your dues, on the bench and, bring jelly donuts to the team. This ain't 1979. This is 2020. You know what I'm saying? So they got to play these young guys. And they probably would have did the same thing with Caris Levert. He would have developed on the bench and they'd have moved on. He'd have went somewhere else and became a solid player. And that's my number one gripe with the Pistons. You got to play your young guys. They killed Darko confidence. You know what I'm saying? Tayshaun Prince sat in the end of the bench in the deep freeze until Tracy McGrady had them on the brink of elimination. Come on. And they got to change. But as far as with Caris Levert, the problem I have with Caris Levert is that he can't stay healthy. We didn't have Blake. We didn't have Derek. We didn't have Luke. You know what I'm saying? He just can't physically stay healthy. And obviously, it's like he just going to be an injury-prone player because a lot of NBA players don't believe in weights, and strength and conditioning. So he got to do something different strength and conditioning-wise. It don't look like he really put on any weight. And when you're dealing with those injuries, you got to put on some type of protection. Your armor, your muscle is your armor. You know what I'm saying? And Iverson said he didn't lift weights because it would mess with his shots. But LeVar Ball said something that's smart, and that don't always go together every day. All right, he said something on Undisputed a couple years ago. He said, "You gotta lift. Them bands ain't gonna help you. You gotta get big and strong. The way you do it, you lift weights and you take a lot of shots. That's how you keep your form from getting messed up." And Caris LeVert got to do something different. Same thing with Anthony Davis. I ain't never seen a big fella on the floor more than Anthony Davis. You got to get in there. You got to strengthen your body up. You don't necessarily have to put all the weight, here, here, and here, and here. You know what I'm saying? The most important part is the hands, the calves, the legs, the quads, the hamstrings, the hips, the glutes, the lower back, and your core. You don't have to really, you can just resistant bands off top all day or do lightweight, but your strength comes from your core on down. And that's what Caris LeVert got to figure out. He got to get stronger, man. You know what? I would love to have him on the Pistons, but it'll just be repetitive, a repetitive nature of just putting in injury-prone players and expect them to come to Detroit and be healthy, and that just hasn't happened for us. You know what I'm saying? So if you could tell me Caris LeVert can stay healthy, I would love to do a deal for him. But then again, I think they're going to package him with Spencer Dinwiddie and try to bring in a third star. And I don't think Blake Griffin is the star they're looking for. You know what I'm saying? So that's my opinion on there. I don't think you can get Caris LeVert unless you give up draft compensation. And I don't think he's worth giving up whatever pick the Pistons going to have. That is, the draft lottery is August 20th. I think that's what? Monday? That's Thursday, I think it is. Next Thursday. So if you get a pick that's like, in the top 10 and you like, I don't really see nobody I want, maybe I'll try to do a deal to get, Caris LeVert over here. But the thing about it, the Pistons can do, the Pistons can absorb Spencer Dinwiddie contract and Caris LeVert contract. Caris LeVert making $17 a year. I'm not sure what Spencer making, but they got $40 million in cap space. They can absorb those contracts, and they can open up the cap for Brooklyn to bring in a free agent. But really, there ain't no free agent Brooklyn can bring in this year that can help them out where they need to be helped out. If Brandon Ingram is a crapshoot, is he restricted? All right. Other than that, Anthony Davis going back to LA unless him and LeBron haven't fallen off. So Brooklyn is going to use Caris LeVert and Spencer Dinwiddie's contracts to bring in a third player. And that's it. And the Pistons don't have a third starter to really change that. So that's a problem. So at the end of the day, I don't think you want Caris LeVert anyway because he hasn't been able to stay healthy throughout his career. But if he is healthy, he's a good starting piece. It's a good two-way player. He showed the ability to be able to take over a game from here and there, but his health hasn't been able to let him string that along and make one great pitcher. He's a spot guy. And bringing Caris LeVert in would be like bringing in another Luke Kennard, an injury-prone player. So at the end of the day, we need strong players. We need durable players. We need more guys like Drummond as far as his strength and conditioning and his durability. And that's one thing that the Pistons should really look at when they draft and when they bring guys in. Durable guys. Guys that haven't had major injury histories, foot injuries and knee injuries. And that's why my reason when I did that 76er video, they can move on from Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons. That's why I wasn't buying it. You know what I'm saying? Joel Embiid need to go to a team that's going to win today. Soon. Ben Simmons is just, at the end of the day, I like Ben Simmons, but, it just don't seem the work ethic is there by working on his shot. So I passed. The best thing the Pistons can do is what they planning to do is basically bring in back Christian Wood and then sign a whole bunch of mid or lower level players and build it through the draft. I would love to bring in Malik Beasley, and I'll do a free agent spotlight as we get there, and I'm going to start the draft spotlight after the lottery. I don't want to do a whole bunch of spotlights of guys that's not going to be there. Or we can't hypothetically get unless we move up or move down or something of that nature, or move back into the first round. But, that's kind of where I'm sitting at with Caris LeVert. I'm good. Love him as a player. Love him when he went to the University of Michigan. But we need healthy players. We need durable players. If you tell me he can stay healthy and durable, maybe so. But I like, bringing in Malik Beasley, maybe Bogdanovich from the Sacramento Kings. Or I just like trading water. Maybe you bring in Kelly Olynyk to back up Christian Wood or whatever they're going to do. But, hey, let me know what you guys think about Caris LeVert. I'm spot on, spot off. Appreciate the comments. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All my social media links in the description. If you ever got a question, business acquire, responsive video request, Twitter's the fastest way, then Facebook, and really on IG. Other than that, man, appreciate the love, support. Cash App, CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. But best way to donate personally for me is to share the video, thumbs up, comment, let me know how you feel. One time for the one time we go.